Oh yeah, he's the kind of person that we need up here in D.C. is Bill Clinton. And no matter what you did to the guy, no matter what type of evidence you had, he was going to survive. That's why they call him Slick Willie. He's like a Teflon Don. Nothing stuck to him. But Gary Hart, there was maybe he was, fooling around. But we know that Bill Clinton did worse. And he not only did he do worse, but he also did some of that in the Oval Office. Now, I would venture to say that I don't think Gary Hart would have done that, what Bill Clinton did in the Oval Office. But, I'm not willing to put myself and my family through that kind of ridiculous over scrutiny. And those people who want to go through that process, more power to them. But and it's not because I have anything to hide. Because, hell, we've all made mistakes in our past, but that's why they're in my past. But I don't think it's something that we need to focus on. And that's exactly what they would do, because they would try to assassinate my character. I mean, look what they're doing to look what they're trying to do to Donald Trump. But Donald Trump has just got this charisma and bold tenacity about him that I don't believe that I have. And he's able to withstand all of this and still march forward without walking anything back. It's an amazing thing. He's kind of like giving it back to those who would try to destroy his character. He's giving it back to them, and he's taking them all apart. And that's kind of interesting and wonderful. Now, again, I'm not endorsing Trump. He's just an interesting enigma right now. How far he goes and how far he takes this is totally up to the Donald. But I think it's an amazing thing, an example of what one can accomplish if, even in this day and age, if they're strong enough to be able to withstand it. And most Americans, unfortunately, aren't strong enough to be able to withstand the... Gary Hart went away. I mean, what has happened to him? He couldn't... And it's, it's 10 times worse now than it was on Gary Hart. So I don't know many people that can withstand that. And that's just too bad. That is too bad. I'm sorry, folks. Welcome. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I did check again today. It is Wednesday, hump day, if you will, July the 22nd, in the year of our Lord, 2015. The number that you wish that you can call if you wish to do so to, discuss anything that we're discussing here tonight with me, or to take me to task. If you think you can take me on, that's great. Toll free is 603-835-3224. That's 603-835-3224, especially if you're a liberal. I would like to get your take on the Planned Parenthood stuff. I take it on. Speaking of Gary Hart, by the way, and infidelities and stuff like that. Here's WND.com is reporting, and it was reported. We all know that Ashley Madison got hacked, and somebody, a group or individual has, 32 million members of Ashley Madison, and I don't, I don't know exactly how many, but 30 million people is a lot, men and women, I guess. But evidently, somebody hacked Ashley Madison, and they got all the names, the addresses, the emails, and a list of their fantasies. And evidently they have been good to their word, and they released the name of a Massachusetts man. He's the first person to be named to be a member of Ashley Madison. So the story from WND is... Oh, I'm sorry. They're saying the 37 million members of Ashley Madison. That's... that's a lot of people willing to commit adultery on their spouse. Now, I would be interested to know how many of the members of Ashley Madison, husband and wives, how many of them, both spouses are members. The other spouse doesn't know it, but let's take couple A, Mark and Mary. I wonder how many couples where Mark and Mary both are members of Ashley Madison. That would be, I'm sure that this group or person who has the 37 million names and identities probably knows the answer to that. But they went ahead and released the name of this one unlucky person to be publicly identified in connection with the recent hack on the popular online adultery site. And Ashley Madison's slogan is, "Life is short, have an affair." I don't agree with the premise or the business model of this site, but evidently, unfortunately, there is a demand for this service, or else they wouldn't be making any money. And that's a sad notion to take to heart. That 37 million people who are potentially married, coupled up, if you were, legitimately coupled up, are willing to go outside of that union for their sexual fulfillment. And understand that, adultery is very devastating to a family. It is not, it is fairly rare for an adulterous affair to come to light and a marriage to remain intact. It's not easy. I mean, that's an ultimate betrayal of trust for a spouse. It really is. Anyway, according to the Enterprise in Brockton, Massachusetts, the local resident's name, profile ID, home address, email address, and a list of fantasies were included in a manifesto message as an example of the information the hackers or hacker had learned. Now, this information is intensely personal. Now, according to the report that was issued by the hacker or hackers, he says, "I have only two personal interests on this site," the man's profile reads. "Making sure that you are comfortable with me should be so fortunate to hold your attention, and making sure I take the role of discretion to an art form. I mean, isn't this why we are here, to be as discreet as possible?" Which is probably why he was picked out of the lineup, as it were, and chosen to be exposed. Now, again, I am not advocating Ashley Madison, nor their business model. But I'm also not advocating what these hackers or hacker has done. Two wrongs don't make a right here. Whether or not you have a website, have people committed adultery even before the internet? Well, of course they have. Have there been networks? Yes, there have. And make no mistake about it. It's not as if Ashley Madison is doing something new. It's just that they're doing it on a national and international. But I don't know how many of these names are international. I've never even actually been to the site. I don't know anything about it other than, what I have heard, both in the lamestream media, the alternate media, and I have known some people that have told me, I don't know if they actually were members of Ashley Madison, but I've had people tell me some information about it. But I haven't ventured over to check it out myself, and I have no intention to. Of course, for me, it wouldn't be adultery since I'm single. Is it? Well, no. Well, you're going to go over, if you're single and you're going over there, then you're causing somebody else to commit an adulterous act, are you not? I would, yeah, and that's just as bad. But in any case, there is that. So, for all of you, and I guess if you're a member and you try to delete your information now, it's too late. It is too. It's kind of like, what there have been various madams over the years that have had their little black books confiscated in various ways, and that all those names on the little black book were released. Yes, and we can see isn't that's how Elliot Spritzer, that's how he was tripped up. Spritzer was spritzing himself all over, with a couple of chosen hookers, I guess. I don't know, but it's Spitzer. Yes, Elliot Spitzer. And wasn't, yeah, and he was a Democrat, by the way. And this is look, it doesn't. Yeah, I know that there are Republicans that have been caught cheating and that kind of thing, but it seems to me that the reason why we have sites like Ashley Madison, we have people trying to change the mores of the nation, and why it's coming from the left is because so many of them are getting caught doing immoral types of things, and they don't want to be thought of as being immoral or thought of doing something wrong. They're trying to do whatever makes them feel good, right? But if you want to, is it ashleymadison.com? See, I don't even know what the address. I think it's ashleymadison.com. And by the way, you spell Ashley with an E-Y rather, so it's ASHLEY. Madison. And Madison is 1D, not 2, not like Madison Avenue, which is really kind of weird. But yeah, there you go, folks. See, I can bring you that kind of strange news too. Speaking of strange news, Windows, Microsoft. This is a Yahoo Tech story, and I was kind of debating if I should even bring this up, but then I thought about, this is starting to get a little uncomfortable. We're going to have to start trying to approach and deal with technology on this level at some point. And we might as well start doing it now, because it's going to take us a while to try to figure this all out, instead of trying to figure it out after it already happens and starts hurting people. Now, you don't want this type of technology actually hurting people. You want it to, it's supposed to be technology that's supposed to be helping and assisting and making our, enriching our lives. But I know that there are tons of movies where this type of technology just goes all wrong. It goes awry. It goes bad. It goes bad for the individual. It goes bad for a country. It goes bad for the entire planet, and for mankind and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not trying to paint that type of picture. But at the same time, it is becoming starkly clear that this type of scenario is no longer long-distance fantasy, but it is reality that is just around the corner. And we're going to need to have some sort of societal, we're in a meeting of the minds and consensus, if you will, on how we proceed forward, and what types of laws or societal pressures or norms are instituted in order to keep human beings safe. And I know some of you are thinking, well, what the hell are you talking about, Rod? Well, as soon as we get back from the break, I'll tell you all about what Microsoft is trying to put forth and give us all, kind of like Siri. but worse.